Hi, I'm Maggie.
I'm Tom.
I'm Ellen.
And you're watching
Word of Mouth.
If this isn't love, we're all seeing double. If this isn't love, I'm really in trouble. If she's not the girl,
And he's not the hero.
a kiss ain't a kiss, it's a crisis, man, if this isn't love.
We saw Finian's Rainbow.
This show takes place in Mississippi, which obviously is a southern place in the States.
Finian is a guy who comes from Ireland, and he's got a pot of gold that he's stolen from a leprechaun, and he's going to bury it in the ground near Fort Knox because he thinks that that will make the gold multiply. And his daughter is Sharon, and she comes to town and meets Woody, who's kind of the hot guy in town, and they fall in love.
There's some stuff in there about race relations and immigration, so those things are kind of relevant for today. I think also, there's a whole big subplot about credit and buying stuff on credit and what does that mean. So I think that it maybe has a little bit of a political piece to it.
There's a senator who is racist, and he starts out white, he turns black, and then he's white again. And there's a woman who can't speak, so she communicates through dance. There's no suspense or anything like that. It was just like waiting for the next good song to show up and the next really great performance to pop out.
Cheyenne Jackson plays Woody, the hero. Very handsome, very stalwart, carried an accent quite nicely. He sings very well.
Sure, he looked good and he could do the little jig thing pretty well, and he could sing okay, but I think he was really hired because he's good looking.
He is like the epitome of the leading man. Devastatingly handsome and stunningly talented and just great.
Kate Baldwin, who played Sharon, she's really good. She has a really good voice. She, for better or worse, really throws herself into the part.
She was the epitome of loveliness. She was gorgeous. She had the voice of a goddamn angel. She was just, like, if she were a man, I would take her to Connecticut and gay marry her.
She has the first 3 songs she is involved with. And that's sort of a lot of pressure on her because it's really opening the show musically. And she did it very nicely.
I think one of the biggest problems with the show, among many, is the fact that Sharon and Woody don't really have chemistry. They didn't really fall for each other. They just sort of maybe like the idea of being in love, maybe. That's even stretching it. I think that they're just like, okay, I love you.
Terry White played Dottie, not a major character, stops the show in her one big number, and if she'd only had more numbers, she would have stopped the show many more times, but she was really phenomenal.
Christopher Fitzgerald, who played Og, he was good. You can't really ask for anything better. I was so glad they didn't put him on his knees with feet, they do in Shrek or whatever. He played it really well. He was funny. He was the bright spot. You kind of wanted to watch him. He was the comic relief. He was really good at the magic tricks. He did a lot of the sleight of hand stuff, and he really was on top of that.
Woody's sister, Susan, is played by Alina Faye. Susan is a mute who has her dialogue by dance. And this is a beautiful, beautiful young woman and an exquisite dancer. Graceful and gorgeous legs. Men should come just to see her legs. Her legs are smashing. She's beautiful.
There are some terrific songs. If you're a jazz fan, you probably know half the songs in the show, and the ones you don't know, you'll leave humming them. Old Devil Moon, How Are Things in Glockamora, Look to the Rainbow.
When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. On that great Come and Get It Day, Necessity. Oh, lots.
It's very old-timey Broadway show-y. So if you like Oklahoma and The Music Man and that kind of old-timey stuff, then you might like it, but for me, it's not really my cup of tea.
The score is the star of this show. The score is lovely. It's really a good revival.
This is a classic, you know, old-time Broadway musical, and I get the sense that they probably didn't do a whole lot to update it, but you know, there's enough in there that's relevant to today. But I loved it. I thought it was, you know, classic Broadway, and it was great. I loved it.
It was really weird, and I felt left confused. None of it really came together. It didn't really make sense. I didn't really understand why someone would be inspired by this show to revive it, so I wouldn't recommend it.
If someone wants to come see a nice revival that is successful, I would absolutely recommend this show to them because it has it all. Their attempt, the direction of the show is to give you a good night's entertainment, and it does that.
I would take my mom, I would take my best friend, I would take my partner. I did take my partner, but I would, like, anybody should go. It's great. It's really good.
Got me flying high and wide on a magic carpet